morning. Happy Monday. I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. This week, we are going to embark on a new journey in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And we are going to launch our nonfiction unit. So nonfiction is that body of work in which the author purports to tell us about the real world, a real experience, a real person, an idea, or a belief. And in doing so, we're going to have to think deeply about these texts. We are going to look at lots of different forms of nonfiction. Today, we'll be looking at a film. So, nonfiction isn't just a text, it can be a film, it can be a podcast, it can be a short documentary. It can be an interactive web article, and we're going to be taking a look at a wide variety of nonfiction. In order to understand and deeply think about nonfiction, we have to understand the central ideas, the themes, and the social issues that arise in the nonfiction texts that we are going to be reading. So we're going to start that work today and take a look at central ideas. What does that mean in relationship to nonfiction? Themes. We've looked a lot at themes in fiction texts, but we're going to see how we can apply those skills that we've been practicing with fiction and apply them to nonfiction reading. And we're going to look at social issues that arise in nonfiction texts. So the first thing that we're going to look at today is themes. This should be a review, and we've done a lot of work with it with our fiction texts. So themes, when we are thinking about what the theme of, or oftentimes there's many themes in a body of work. How does the author suggest you might live your life differently? What is the author teaching you about how life works? Themes are a complete sentence. Remember, they're not just one word. So we have to ask ourselves, we have to think about our motifs first, which are one word, but then we have to ask ourselves, what does the author have to say about those motifs? So some motifs that we saw in the fiction reading that we did will also arise in the nonfiction texts that we're going to be reading. So what does the author have to say about motifs like betrayal, acceptance, popularity, loneliness, survival, compassion, loyalty, bravery, competition, bullying? Let me move my camera out of the way so we can see the rest of them. Can I move you up here? Yep. What does the author have to say about love and perseverance and loss and self-discovery? All of those things that we looked at in fiction texts, we can look for those same things, those same motifs in nonfiction texts as well. But then we have to ask ourselves, remember, because the theme is a complete sentence, we want to ask ourselves, what does the author have to say about those topics that keep coming up again and again in our reading? The theme is universal and it can be applied to life in general. I did not mean to do that. And it's not just particular to that text that you're reading. It's universal, applied to life in general. Now, central idea, you may also heard of it as main idea. This is what the author wants you to understand and think about the topic. It's also a complete sentence. The central idea or main idea is what the author wants you to remember the most about the text. It's sometimes stated, but it's almost most often implied, and the reader, as a reader, you have to make an inference what the author wants you to remember most about this text. Now, different from theme, the central or main idea is specific to the particular body of work, the text, the film, the podcast that you are listening to. And we're going to take a look at that with a particular text today. Last but not least, social issues. So social issues you'll see arise in nonfiction. And these are issues that affect the lives of particular groups of people in the body of work that you're reading. So social issues are the problems or controversies that affect some or even all members of society. A lot of the isms that we're familiar with, like racism, classism, sexism, but doesn't have to be an ism. Issues like poverty, war, environment, imprisonment, mental illness, crime, immigration, gangs, police brutality, refugees, all of those are social issues that you'll see arise again and again in nonfiction reading. So today what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at a film clip, which is linked right here. And this book, Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly, is the true story of African American mathematicians who really were game changers in the space race in the 1950s. Um, from this book, there was a movie that was adapted from the book that came out in 2000. I'm sorry, yeah, 2017. And this is a film clip from Hidden Figures. So you'll watch that. As you watch the film, think about what are the themes that are arising, what are the central ideas, and what are the social issues. There are more than one of all three of those topics. So if you look at the work that you'll do today after watching the film, think about what are the themes that you see in this film clip. There's more than one. So one, Mrs. Ash gave you an example here. Remember, this is a statement and can be applied to life in general. It's not particular to just Hidden Figures. But one theme that I see arise in this film clip is that teaching children right from wrong can be tricky for parents. And do you see how that is a theme that is universal? It doesn't apply just to Hidden Figures. A central idea that arises in this film clip, Dorothy Vaughan is the mom in the film clip. You'll meet her. Um, Dorothy Vaughan had to teach her sons a tough lesson. That is one of the central ideas of the film. Notice and remember that this statement, central ideas, are particular to this specific text. This doesn't apply to my life or your parents' life. It just is particular to the Hidden Figures film that you're going to be watching. Dorothy Vaughan had a tough lesson to teach her son. And one social issue that I noticed, and there's several, is injustice. That's definitely a social issue, injustice, and you'll see it arise in the video. So after you watch the video, what other themes do you see? What other central ideas do you see? And what are the other social issues do you see arise in the film? I hope you enjoyed the clip, and if you want to read or watch more, the movie is available on Hulu, and the book, I'm pretty sure, is available on scribe.com. So we still have a few weeks left in our memberships, our free memberships. If you are enjoying it and you want to learn more about it, continue to read. Please email me if you have any questions, and I'll see you for our meeting on Thursday. Have a great day.